What's up, YouTube? You know what time it is. It's MightyFan time. And this video is twofold. It's a reply to Hometown Fitted's challenge, the player that you tried to be like when you were playing sports. And B, it's also a pickup video. Now, I'll have another pickup video coming shortly. It's not the Grail pickup. That one's still... that was still... getting some messages here on the screen. Multitasking. No, that one's still hopefully in the works. That auction still has yet to end. In fact, it's interesting because the same seller not only listed one Grail of mine, but two. Yes. So I'm hoping that I'll have a dual Grail pickup coming at some point. I'm hoping. I'm not saying it yet because you never know with eBay what can happen, and the auction still has a few days in it. But I am hopeful that I can get those two off of my Grail list. And I think after those two, I only have two others. So I'm getting there. And no, they weren't as elusive as Dion. Nothing will ever be elusive as Dion, please God. But but they have been. These two jerseys have been pretty elusive for me, both in finding them and also finding them in a size that I can actually wear for one of them. Because I actually saw this one at the Mitchell & Ness store during the last the Super Bowl sale, but it was too big. I'm like, should I? Nah. I'll just wait. Unless I want to wear it like a sheet. But no. So that is one of the other problems with some of these Grails. Is sometimes they're the older run jerseys, and size-wise, yeah, can be a problem to find sometimes. But at any rate, we'll see what happens. I will keep you, the viewer, posted on those two Grails. But I do have another one coming in the mail that I was able to pick up late last week. Got a real good price on it. And speaking of sizes, I normally don't see this one in my size, so I was real happy to find it in my size, and I was able to get it. What is it? You'll have to wait and see it in the next video, but it'll be worth the wait, I'm sure. It should be coming early in the week anyhow in the mail, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's a jersey I've been looking for in this particular style of this particular player's jersey, so be on the lookout. A little program alert from MightyFan. But anyhow, enough of that. And yes, the Flyers, to echo what Throwback King said in his last video, yes, they did take care of business today against the Penguins. I got a little nervous after they scored the first goal because the team that scored the first goal in the series lost each game prior to today. And it was great to see because the Penguins certainly, this particular group of Penguins with Crosby and Malkin and company, beat the Flyers two other previous playoff meetings. So, you know, it was good to see the Flyers get a little payback, and I really liked Claude Giroux's hit on Crosby to start the game. I think it certainly set the tone. And what a great player Claude Giroux is. He had a great playoff series. I think he set the Flyers franchise record in points for a series of 14, so he definitely got it done. And the Bruins and Caps are going to Game 7. The Rangers might be knocked out, which is good because the Flyers can't seem to beat them this season. But they might not even have to worry about the Rangers as the Senators will be our fullback. I'll knock them out of the way. I'm hoping. And then the Devils and Panthers. Hey, the Rats are back. Did you notice that? They threw the plastic rats on the eye. How about that? You know, years later they're still doing that. But they're one win away from knocking out the Devils. So the Panthers are a fullback too. Look at this. Teams are clearing the road. Like the Canadiens did a few years ago when the Flyers went to I think they knocked the Penguins and Capitals out, and then the Flyers thanked them by knocking them out, and you know, they lost to the Blackhawks, but they did get there for the first time since '97. But anyhow, hopefully whoever the Flyers play in the next round should be interesting. Hopefully it won't be a team that can score as much as Pittsburgh. I mean, my goodness, I was so nervous, like every game. You know, all that the scoring prowess that they have. 10 goals in one game, you know, come on. It's like a video game. But, yeah, we did take care of them. And the Oscar winners from the Penguins that like to flop around every time people look at them wrong. I mean, it's, you know, they can win the Oscars, but they won't be winning the Cup this year. So there you go. So those Penguins are home. Bye. Yes, go on. It felt good too. to knock them out. But so we'll see what happens. I'm not making any predictions, keep in mind, but I'm just enjoying the ride right now. But yes, to answer Hometown Fitted's challenge, first part of this video, I'm going to change hats because, I'm a man of many hats. And to answer Hometown Fitted's challenge, I'm going to represent his Toronto Blue Jays, his much beloved Blue Jays. So there you go. One of my favorite baseball hats right now in baseball and the MLB is this Blue Jays hat. But I won't be wearing it when they play the Phillies, but who are struggling right now to score any kind of run. Just a couple would be, you could score a few. I can pitch against them right now, and I can only pitch wiffle ball. But I can pitch to them if they're going to do what they've been doing. It's a long season. Anyhow, Hometown Fizz asked in the video what player or players you pretended to be like, or you mimicked on the field of play or court, or whatever the case may be. And for me, it was pretty simple because the player that I most emulated on the basketball court, shout out to Throwback King because I know he's a fellow fan of this guy, alright, I have to point it, there it is, is the jersey you see behind me, of course, Allen Iverson of my Philadelphia 76ers. And I was a huge AI fan, of course, and he was with the Sixers. I was just such a big fan of his. And every time I would play in pickup games or whatever, I would wear the Iverson, champion replica jersey, and I would have the headband and the Sixers shorts, and of course the the Iverson MVPs from '01. I had those on. The only time I ever got a player's shoe was that the Iverson MVPs from '01. But I would always emulate Iverson. I would do his little crossover moves, and I would do the ear cuff, late in games when we were winning, whatever the case may be. And of course, I had the headband going. So I don't have the hair to get the cornrows, but I had the headband, and yes, I did my best AI imitations every time I went out there. I never stepped over anybody. I wanted to, like he did Tyronn Lue in the '01 finals. I wanted to, but no one ever fell down when I shot over them, so I couldn't step over them. But yeah, AI was definitely a player I emulated, every chance I got, which was funny because I was more of a three-point shooter. So you would think I would try to emulate Reggie Miller or Ray Allen or Larry Bird, but it was AI. The only other players that I kind of emulated, hockey-wise, I never really played. I can't skate. I don't think I'll ever be able to skate. But when we played floor hockey in gym class, I was the goalie. And my favorite goalie of all time is Ron Hextall. So I tried to emulate him. I would tap the net, do his little mannerisms, put the goalie stick across the crease and do all sorts of stuff that he used to do. And it's funny because one game we played in gym class was a close game. I'll never forget this. I was in net, and my team lost in the end. They got the goal past me. And I wasn't so upset that the guy scored on me. I was more upset with my defenseman. So I started yelling at my defense, "How can you let him get by you?" It was very much the way Hextall would used to get animated. I never fought anyone or scored a goal as a goalie, but I got really upset. Football-wise, I never played football, but I played a lot of flag football, particularly in gym class. I loved playing flag football, and I was the running back. I always wanted to be the running back because that's my favorite position in football. And I always tried to emulate, and I know Great Babe would appreciate this, I always tried to emulate Barry Sanders. That was my favorite running back. And I always used to try to do his little jukes and cuts and stuff. I wasn't as graceful as Barry was, but then again, who is, right? But I tried my best. I did spin moves. I actually had one touchdown, which was I would imagine more Walter Payton like than Barry, but I was running and I spun around one person and ran and spun around someone else and ran in for the touch. In fact, one touchdown, it was a kickoff return. And I had a few kickoff return touchdowns. I used to be quick back then. Can't really get it done now, but I used to be like Devin Hester. Oh yeah, MightyFan used to get it done. But I was running with the ball, right? And there's no contact in flag football normally, right? my own player was getting in the way, so I kind of ran him over. It was very Earl Campbell-esque, too. It was like, boom! The guy fell on the floor, and I looked at him, and then I kept running. He just fell, and he was lying on the ground, and I'm just going in for the touchdown. I didn't see him until it was too late. He, cut in front of me, and I smashed right through him. Hey, you got to do what you got to do to score touchdowns, right? So that's what I did. And... But no, Barry was always a player I tried to emulate, and although I never really emulated him after I scored, because I would always dunk the ball over the soccer goalpost or whatever. But it's funny because thinking about that, in college we played. I played in a season of flag football, within the college. We never played other colleges or anything. One of those inter-college sports that people they would have at colleges. Different sports or whatever. Flag football was one of them. I played 1 year, and I put the team together, and they kept putting me on the line. Right? It's like, oh, gee, thanks. I get you guys together, and then you want me to be on the line. I'm not a lineman. I'm horrible as a lineman, right? They kept putting me on the line, and the funny thing is, I always wanted to be part of the action. I always wanted to, score a touchdown or get involved as a receiver or whatever. Well, I'm on the line, right? And I'm at the end. I guess I'm at, tackle, I guess, right? They snap the ball. We're about maybe 5-6 yards from the end zone. They snap the ball, and the guy who I'm defending, who I'm trying to, do my best to, prevent to get to the quarterback, he actually went back in coverage. And so I was kind of open. So the first player that came to my mind was Antonio Gates, right? So I do this little curl route move, right? I just go to the end zone, and I turn around, I put my hands up, and there's no one around me, right? So the quarterback's doing this rollout play, right? He rolls out and he sees me. We make eye contact, and he throws the ball, but he's throwing it kind of quick, and he threw it up, almost like a lob. And so I jumped up like Gates, and I caught the ball, and I brought it back down. And the first thing I thought of is, am I in the end zone? And then I thought, oh, crap, I'm going to get hit. Because even though it was flag football, let's just say there was contact involved. So I came back down with the ball, and I'm like, oh, I'm in the end zone. And I'm looking around, and someone's going to, nail me, So, of course, then my teammates came around and, congratulating because it was a close game. That put us ahead. And so the first player I thought of was Barry Sanders. And I remember Barry throwing the ball to the referee, so that's what I did. I threw the ball to the referee. So, yeah, I know. I was a little late with that, after those years in high school with spiking it on the goalpost. But no, I thought of Barry at that time, and I threw the ball to the referee. And Jerry Rice used to do that too, so I, kind of a little homage to them. Act like I've been there before, even though I wasn't that whole season, and I wasn't again. That's the only time they ever threw me the ball. You would think that they would have learned from that, but what can you do? Just because you're in college doesn't mean you're always learning. So, anyhow, but the other person of sports that I would emulate is on that when I was in that season, when I wasn't on the field, I was on the sidelines for the flag football, and I was like the coach, so I would watch what was going on. And I remember there was this one play where it was a close game. We actually lost. It was the first game we played that season, and the quarterback made a throw. The receiver caught it right along the sideline and ran in for a touchdown. I mean, it was close to being out of bounds, but he was not out of bounds because I was looking at his feet the whole time. And he went in for the touchdown, and the referee called it off. He said, no touchdown. And I was like Bill Cowher or Bill Parcells. I mean, pick your Bill. That's basically what I was. I was going off at the referee. I'm like, how do you know that? I'm looking at his feet. He was in bounds. Come here, I'll show you where he was. And and of course these were college students who were referees, so they started, what, are you friends with the other team? Was this what it is? I know. So I got all animated. That should be on YouTube too. That would be great. Crazy person in a big argument over flag football game with referee. But no, that's basically my. I mean, baseball. I never played baseball. I played t-ball. Can't really emulate anyone when you're playing t-ball. But I guess wiffle ball. The best emulations I ever did was I was never a great hitter, so I would fit real well with this Phillies team this year. But I was a pitcher. I was always more better at pitching than hitting, and so I always used to try to emulate like Randy Johnson or some menacing pitcher when I was on the make well, it was a stick. It wasn't really a mound, but it was. So you don't have a glove, so you just have the ball in your hand. So I would even put the ball up to my face like that and really stare into the batter. I'm wearing shades, but you know what I mean. Just really giving him a good look before I throw the ball. I didn't have the long locks like Randy Johnson, but I could pitch. And in fact, I remember once it was a close game, and I got the guy out, and it was a pop up, and I caught the ball and I spiked it on the ground, and I started jawing at the guy. That should be on YouTube too. That would have been awesome. but yeah, so that is my best impersonations in sports that I ever tried to do there, Hometown Fitteds. And big shout out to you for the challenge. It was fun going down memory lane, and also okay. So that was part one of the this video. Now I got part two, which is the pickup part of the video. So I'm going to change hats again, because again I'm a man of many hats. So we're gonna go back to the Flyers here. And this is actually a jersey that I picked up yesterday at a local Kohl's store. I had a coupon I had to use up. Wanted to use up, I should say. I didn't have to, but I wanted to. So I was able to pick this up. Real good price for it. It's not like a Mitchell and Ness or anything like that, but it's more of a fan jersey. It's a Cooperstown collection jersey, but I got it for a specific reason, and you'll see that real quick here. Besides the fact that it's a Phillies jersey, and even though they're off to a pretty poor start to their standards in recent years, I did pick this up. Again, it's a long season. So it's a Cooperstown collection jersey. There's the tag. It's got the old Phillies P on the front. The old colors. Baby blue and maroon. It's a Mike Schmidt jersey, so it's got the Schmidt 20 double stitched on the back. And the thing I really liked about this was the little World Series patch there on the sleeve from 1980, where of course Mike Schmidt was the series MVP. But they never wore that logo on their jerseys for the World Series, but this was the World Series logo when it was here in Philly, the games. And there's the Veterans Stadium you see there. Phillies and Royals, 1980. The Phillies, of course, won 6 games. Tugger on the mound, and so yeah, as I've always said, sometimes there's little extras on jerseys, and that's definitely one that's pretty cool. Don't have that on any other jersey. I have that on a shirt, but I don't have that on a jersey. But now I do. So even though I already did have a powder blue Mike Schmidt Mitchell and Ness jersey, I figured, hey, you can never have too many powder blue Phillies jerseys. So I thought this was pretty cool. A little different look. Like I said, more of a fan jersey, not really something that the players ever wore, but still pretty cool. I like that trim too going around it, the maroon trim. But anyhow, that was my most recent pickup. Like I said, I do have another pickup coming in the mail, a Mitchell and Ness pickup that I'm looking forward to, and I will share that video with you, the viewer, once that jersey comes in. And if everything, like the stars align for me, I'll be able to later in the week pick up those 2 Grails of mine, because I've really been trying to get those for a number of years. But we'll see what happens. You never know. I'm not going to make any predictions right now. I'm just going to say I'm hopeful that I can acquire those jerseys, or at least one of them. But at any rate, yes, it's getting late. It's a work day for me tomorrow, so I better go end this video now. But again, a big shout out to Hometown Fitteds for the challenge. Shout out to everyone who's replied to my White Whale challenge. I know Hometown Fitteds did, Throwback King, Dodgeball Terrorist. I can't remember if anyone else did or not. If I'm forgetting anyone, I apologize about that. But yeah, I look forward to seeing any other replies to that challenge. And yeah, so to all my subscribers out there, big shout outs to all of you. Thank you all so much for subscribing to my channel. Keep doing that. Comment, rate, do whatever you have to do for me and for all my fellow Jersey heads as well. All my fellow Jersey heads, big shout outs to you, my friends and family, my fellow members on DeviantArt.com. Of course, big shout outs to all of you too. This is MightyFan saying peace, and I will see you in that next video, which will be very shortly in the week. All right.